CLEP Introduction to Educational Psychology Piaget. Question 1. Can Hugo treat exam candidates start feeling nervous after a certain chime is repeatedly paired with a pop quiz as evidence of which concept? Option A, operant conditioning. Option B, metacognition. Option C, classical conditioning. Option D, constructivism. The correct answer is option C. Classical conditioning. This describes classical conditioning because a neutral stimulus becomes linked with an emotional response after repeated pairings. Operant conditioning is not the best choice because it focuses on consequences after behavior rather than associations before a response. Metacognition is different because it concerns thinking about one's own thinking, not learned emotional associations. Constructivism does not fit because it explains active meaning-making, not a reflexive conditioned response. Question 2. If Hugo must answer quickly, which idea is signaled when a course tutor adds praise after an exam candidate participates and participation increases? Option A, punishment. Option B, positive reinforcement. Option C, extinction. Option D, negative reinforcement. The correct answer is option B. Positive reinforcement. This describes positive reinforcement because a desirable consequence is added after a behavior, making that behavior more likely. Punishment is not the best choice because it aims to reduce behavior rather than increase it. Extinction is different because it weakens behavior by withholding reinforcement. Negative reinforcement does not fit because it removes an unpleasant condition rather than adding a reward. Question 3. Rather than guessing, Hugo should connect exam candidates' complete homework early to avoid a weekly reminder call home with which concept? Option A, classical conditioning. Option B, response cost. Option C, positive reinforcement. Option D, negative reinforcement. The correct answer is option D. Negative reinforcement. This describes negative reinforcement because a behavior increases because it helps the learner avoid or remove something unpleasant. Classical conditioning is not the best choice because it involves stimulus association rather than consequences shaping behavior. Response cost is different because it removes a privilege after misbehavior. Positive reinforcement does not fit because it adds a pleasant consequence rather than removing an unpleasant one. Question 4. Curiosity rises when Hugo reads that an exam candidate receives an extra cleanup task after throwing paper and the behavior decreases. Which term solves the puzzle? Option A, positive punishment. Option B, positive reinforcement. Option C, negative reinforcement. Option D, shaping. The correct answer is option A. Positive punishment. This describes positive punishment because an unpleasant consequence is added to reduce an unwanted behavior. Positive reinforcement is not the best choice because it adds something desirable to increase behavior. Negative reinforcement is different because it increases behavior by removing something unpleasant. Shaping does not fit because it builds behavior through small reinforced steps. Question 5. A CLEP-style scenario says a course tutor rewards each closer attempt as a shy learner gradually speaks louder in class. Which answer best captures it for Hugo? Option A, extinction. Option B, shaping. Option C, reciprocal teaching. Option D, fixed ratio schedule. The correct answer is option B. Shaping. This describes shaping because successive approximations are reinforced until the desired behavior develops. Extinction is not the best choice because it reduces behavior by removing reinforcement. Reciprocal teaching is different because it uses student-led reading strategies rather than behavior building. Fixed ratio schedule does not fit because it reinforces after a set number of responses, not gradual progress. Question 6. Inside a peer study circle, Hugo studies why a course tutor stops laughing at off-task jokes and the jokes slowly fade away. Which concept fits? Option A, spaced practice. Option B, extinction. Option C, punishment. Option D, modeling. The correct answer is option B. Extinction. This describes extinction because a previously reinforced behavior decreases when reinforcement is no longer provided. Spaced practice is not the best choice because it improves memory through distributed study sessions. Punishment is different because it adds or removes a consequence to reduce behavior more directly. Modeling does not fit because it involves learning by watching others. Question 7. Looking at the clue that a learner keeps answering review questions because bonus points appear after unpredictable numbers of correct responses, which idea should Hugo remember? Option A, fixed ratio schedule. Option B, variable interval schedule. Option C, fixed interval schedule. Option D, variable ratio schedule. The correct answer is option D. Variable ratio schedule. This describes variable ratio schedule because reinforcement occurs after an unpredictable number of responses, which often produces steady responding. Fixed ratio schedule is not the best choice because it rewards after a predictable number of responses. Variable interval schedule is different because it rewards after changing time intervals rather than response counts. Fixed interval schedule does not fit because it rewards the first response after a set amount of time. Question 8. Hugo sees that exam candidates work hardest right before a quiz that happens every Friday during a quiet study group. Which concept best explains it? Option A, fixed interval schedule. Option B, fixed ratio schedule. Option C, variable ratio schedule. Option D, token economy. The correct answer is option A. Fixed interval schedule. This describes fixed interval schedule because reinforcement is available after a predictable amount of time has passed. Fixed ratio schedule is not the best choice because it depends on a set number of responses. Variable ratio schedule is different because it depends on unpredictable response counts. Token economy does not fit because it uses symbolic rewards exchanged for privileges. Question 9. When Hugo notices that a child copies a classmate's polite hand-raising after seeing the classmate praised in an online prep session, which idea is being tested? Option A, insight learning. Option B, observational learning. Option C, trial and error learning. Option D, classical conditioning. The correct answer is option B. Observational learning. This describes observational learning because the learner changes behavior after watching another person and the consequences that follow. Insight learning is not the best choice because it involves a sudden solution, not imitation. Trial and error learning is different because it depends on personal attempts and feedback rather than watching a model. Classical conditioning does not fit because it links stimuli rather than modeling behavior. Question 10. During a morning lesson, Hugo studies a case where an exam candidate with strong belief in personal ability chooses harder practice problems. Which term fits best? Option A, intrinsic motivation. Option B, self-concept. Option C, self-efficacy. Option D, external locus of control. The correct answer is option C. Self-efficacy. This describes self-efficacy because the learner's belief in their capability affects effort, persistence, and challenge choice. Intrinsic motivation is not the best choice because it refers to interest or enjoyment, not belief in ability. Self-concept is different because it is a broader view of oneself, not task-specific confidence. External locus of control does not fit because it attributes outcomes to outside forces rather than personal capability. Question 11. In a practice test workshop, Hugo asks why a learner's confidence, classroom behavior, and course tutor response all influence one another. Which answer names the idea? Option A, maturation. Option B, norm reference testing. Option C, reciprocal determinism. Option D, classical conditioning. The correct answer is option C. Reciprocal determinism. This describes reciprocal determinism because personal factors, behavior, and environment interact in a two-way pattern. Maturation is not the best choice because it emphasizes biological growth rather than social interaction cycles. Norm reference testing is different because it compares scores to other test takers. Classical conditioning does not fit because it focuses on learned stimulus associations. Question 12. After reading that a course tutor gives sentence starters at first and slowly removes them as exam candidates improve, how should Hugo label the concept? Option A, summative assessment. Option B, extinction. Option C, standardization. Option D, scaffolding. The correct answer is option D. Scaffolding. This describes scaffolding because temporary support is provided and then withdrawn as learners become more independent. Summative assessment is not the best choice because it evaluates learning after instruction is complete. Extinction is different because it removes reinforcement to reduce behavior. Standardization does not fit because it keeps testing procedures the same for everyone. Question 13. For a short exam review, Hugo connects a learner can solve a problem with hints but not yet alone with which principle? Option A, reliability. Option B, zone of proximal development. Option C, formal operational stage. Option D, mastery learning. The correct answer is option B. Zone of proximal development. This describes zone of proximal development because the task sits between independent ability and what the learner can do with support. Reliability is not the best choice because it concerns score consistency, not learning support. Formal operational stage is different because it describes abstract reasoning, not support level. Mastery learning does not fit because it requires reaching a performance standard before moving on. Question 14. Could a case where a child calls a zebra a horse because it fits an existing animal category be an example of which concept for Hugo? Option A, accommodation. Option B, encoding. Option C, conservation. Option D, assimilation. The correct answer is option D. Assimilation. This describes assimilation because new information is interpreted using an existing mental schema. Accommodation is not the best choice because it changes the schema to fit new information. Encoding is different because it is getting information into memory. Conservation does not fit because it is understanding that quantity can stay the same despite appearance changes. Question 15. Why would Hugo link a child changes the animal category after learning zebras are not horses to one major educational psychology idea? Option A, class inclusion. Option B, assimilation. Option C, accommodation. Option D, rehearsal. The correct answer is option C. Accommodation. This describes accommodation because an existing schema is revised when new information does not fit. Class inclusion is not the best choice because it involves understanding category relationships. Assimilation is different because it would force new information into an old schema. Rehearsal does not fit because it is repeating information to maintain it in memory. Question 16. A practice item tells Hugo that a child solves conservation tasks but struggles with purely hypothetical logic. Which concept is most likely? Option A, formal operational thinking. Option B, sensorimotor thinking. Option C, concrete operational thinking. Option D, preoperational thinking. The correct answer is option C. Concrete operational thinking. This describes concrete operational thinking because children can reason logically about concrete objects but not fully abstract possibilities. Formal operational thinking is not the best choice because it includes abstract and hypothetical reasoning. Sensorimotor thinking is different because it centers on infant sensory and motor exploration. Preoperational thinking does not fit because it often lacks conservation and logical reversibility. Question 17. Before answering, Hugo identifies that a teen reasons through a hypothetical justice problem without needing physical examples. Which term should be chosen? Option A, concrete operational thinking. Option B, object permanence. Option C, formal operational thinking. Option D, preoperational thinking. The correct answer is option C. Formal operational thinking. This describes formal operational thinking because abstract and hypothetical reasoning are key features of this stage. Concrete operational thinking is not the best choice because it works best with tangible examples. Object permanence is different because it is an infant understanding that objects still exist when unseen. Preoperational thinking does not fit because it is marked by symbolic thought but limited logic. Question 18. Which choice helps Hugo explain why an infant searches for a hidden toy instead of acting as if it disappeared in an after-school class? Option A, object permanence. Option B, egocentrism. Option C, centration. Option D, conservation. The correct answer is option A. Object permanence. This describes object permanence because the child understands that objects continue to exist even when out of sight. Egocentrism is not the best choice because it involves difficulty taking another person's viewpoint. Centration is different because it means focusing on one feature while ignoring others. Conservation does not fit because it involves understanding quantity despite appearance changes. Question 19. How can Hugo classify a classroom moment where an elementary exam candidate gains pride from mastering reading and classroom skills? Option A, trust versus mistrust. Option B, identity versus role confusion. Option C, generativity versus stagnation. Option D, industry versus inferiority. The correct answer is option D. Industry versus inferiority. This describes industry versus inferiority because school-age children build competence through successful work and feedback. Trust versus mistrust is not the best choice because it centers on infant caregiver reliability. Identity versus role confusion is different because it is mainly an adolescent search for personal identity. Generativity versus stagnation does not fit because it focuses on adult contribution to others. Question 20. Suppose Hugo observes that a teenager explores values, careers, and beliefs to answer who they are. Which concept is shown? Option A, industry versus inferiority. Option B, intimacy versus isolation. Option C, autonomy versus shame. Option D, identity versus role confusion. The correct answer is option D. Identity versus role confusion. This describes identity versus role confusion because adolescents work toward a stable sense of self and direction. Industry versus inferiority is not the best choice because it focuses on school-age competence. Intimacy versus isolation is different because it usually involves young adult relationships. Autonomy versus shame does not fit because it describes toddlers building independence. Question 21. While reviewing, Hugo sees an exam candidate says cheating is wrong because rules and community expectations matter. Which idea matches the situation? Option A, post-conventional morality. Option B, moral realism. Option C, pre-conventional morality. Option D, conventional morality. The correct answer is option D. Conventional morality. This describes conventional morality because moral reasoning is based on social approval, rules, and maintaining order. Post-conventional morality is not the best choice because it uses broad ethical principles beyond rules. Moral realism is different because it treats rules as fixed and unchangeable. Pre-conventional morality does not fit because it focuses on rewards and punishments. Question 22. One interesting clue says a child avoids lying mainly to escape punishment or earn a reward. Which educational psychology term fits for Hugo? Option A, conventional morality. Option B, pre-conventional morality. Option C, identity achievement. Option D, post-conventional morality. The correct answer is option B. Pre-conventional morality. This describes pre-conventional morality because moral decisions are driven by personal consequences such as punishment or reward. Conventional morality is not the best choice because it emphasizes rules and approval from society. Identity achievement is different because it describes commitment after exploration, not moral reasoning. Post-conventional morality does not fit because it reasons from abstract principles and rights. Question 23. From this example, where an exam candidate argues that a rule should be challenged when it violates basic human rights, which answer should Hugo select? Option A, conventional morality. Option B, post-conventional morality. Option C, learned helplessness. Option D, pre-conventional morality. The correct answer is option B, post-conventional morality. This describes post-conventional morality because moral reasoning is guided by universal principles rather than simple rule following. Conventional morality is not the best choice because it generally supports rules and social order. Learned helplessness is different because it concerns giving up after repeated failure. Pre-conventional morality does not fit because it focuses on personal gain or punishment. Question 24. Students in an online prep session discuss why a course tutor plans choices that include music, movement, language, and spatial design. Which concept gives the best explanation? Option A, multiple intelligences. Option B, working memory. Option C, G factor. Option D, norm reference testing. The correct answer is option A, multiple intelligences. This describes multiple intelligences because the approach treats ability as varied across different domains of strength. Working memory is not the best choice because it is a limited mental workspace. G factor is different because it emphasizes a general intelligence factor. Norm reference testing does not fit because it compares learners to a group. Question 25. Teachers in a morning lesson wonder why an assignment asks exam candidates to solve problems, create products, and apply ideas in daily life. Which principle applies? Option A, triarchic intelligence. Option B, criterion reference testing. Option C, fluid intelligence. Option D, multiple intelligences. The correct answer is option A, triarchic intelligence. This describes triarchic intelligence because Sternberg's model highlights analytical, creative, and practical intelligence. Criterion reference testing is not the best choice because it measures performance against standards. Fluid intelligence is different because it refers to novel problem-solving ability. Multiple intelligences does not fit because it lists broader domains such as musical or bodily kinesthetic abilities. Question 26. Can Hugo treat a learner studies child development because the topic feels genuinely fascinating as evidence of which concept? Option A, performance goal. Option B, extrinsic motivation. Option C, intrinsic motivation. Option D, negative reinforcement. The correct answer is option C, intrinsic motivation. This describes intrinsic motivation because the behavior is driven by interest, curiosity, or enjoyment of the activity itself. Performance goal is not the best choice because it focuses on looking competent compared with others. Extrinsic motivation is different because it depends on outside rewards or pressures. Negative reinforcement does not fit because it increases behavior by removing something unpleasant. Question 27. If Hugo must answer quickly, which idea is signaled when an exam candidate completes extra practice mainly to earn a gift card? Option A, intrinsic motivation. Option B, self-regulation. Option C, extrinsic motivation. Option D, mastery goal. The correct answer is option C, extrinsic motivation. This describes extrinsic motivation because the behavior is driven by an outside reward rather than the activity itself. Intrinsic motivation is not the best choice because it comes from interest or enjoyment. Self-regulation is different because it involves planning and monitoring one's learning. Mastery goal does not fit because it emphasizes learning and improvement. Question 28. Rather than guessing, Hugo should connect. The learner chooses difficult questions to improve understanding even if mistakes happen with which concept? Option A, performance goal. Option B, mastery goal. Option C, fixed mindset. Option D, avoidance goal. The correct answer is option B, mastery goal. This describes mastery goal because the focus is on growth, learning, and skill development. Performance goal is not the best choice because it focuses on proving ability or outperforming others. Fixed mindset is different because it treats ability as unchangeable. Avoidance goal does not fit because it focuses on avoiding failure or embarrassment. Question 29. Curiosity rises when Hugo reads that an exam candidate studies mainly to score higher than classmates and appear smart. Which term solves the puzzle? Option A, performance goal. Option B, metacognition. Option C, mastery goal. Option D, intrinsic motivation. The correct answer is option A, performance goal. This describes performance goal because the learner is focused on demonstrating ability relative to others. Metacognition is not the best choice because it involves awareness and control of thinking. Mastery goal is different because it centers on improvement and understanding. Intrinsic motivation does not fit because it centers on enjoyment or curiosity. Question 30. A CLEP-style scenario says a learner explains a failed test by blaming effort, task difficulty, luck, or ability. Which answer best captures it for Hugo? Option A, information processing theory. Option B, classroom ecology. Option C, attribution theory. Option D, constructivism. The correct answer is option C, attribution theory. This describes attribution theory because it examines how people explain causes of success and failure. Information processing theory is not the best choice because it explains how information moves through memory systems. Classroom ecology is different because it focuses on classroom environment patterns. Constructivism does not fit because it emphasizes building meaning from experience. Question 31. Inside a final review session, Hugo studies why an exam candidate stops trying because repeated failures made success feel impossible. Which concept fits? Option A, positive transfer. Option B, learned helplessness. Option C, growth mindset. Option D, self-efficacy. The correct answer is option B, learned helplessness. This describes learned helplessness because repeated uncontrollable failure can reduce motivation and effort. Positive transfer is not the best choice because it happens when prior learning helps new learning. Growth mindset is different because it supports belief that ability can improve. Self-efficacy does not fit because it refers to belief in capability, not resignation. Question 32. Looking at the clue that an exam candidate treats mistakes as evidence that a skill can improve with strategy and effort, which idea should Hugo remember? Option A, growth mindset. Option B, external attribution. Option C, entity theory. Option D, fixed mindset. The correct answer is option A, growth mindset. This describes growth mindset because ability is viewed as developable through effort, feedback, and better strategies. External attribution is not the best choice because it places causes outside the learner. Entity theory is different because it is another way to describe fixed views of ability. Fixed mindset does not fit because it treats ability as stable and hard to change. Question 33. Hugo sees that a hungry, unsafe exam candidate struggles to focus on a challenging lesson during an after-school class. Which concept best explains it? Option A, Kohlberg theory. Option B, Maslow hierarchy of needs. Option C, classical conditioning. Option D, Bloom taxonomy. The correct answer is option B, Maslow hierarchy of needs. This describes Maslow hierarchy of needs because basic physiological and safety needs can affect readiness for higher level learning. Kohlberg theory is not the best choice because it describes moral reasoning development. Classical conditioning is different because it explains learned stimulus response associations. Bloom taxonomy does not fit because it classifies cognitive learning objectives. Question 34. When Hugo notices that an exam candidate loses track while solving a long mental math problem with many steps in a student coaching session, which idea is being tested? Option A, sensory memory. Option B, long-term memory. Option C, working memory. Option D, procedural memory. The correct answer is option C, working memory. This describes working memory because working memory is the limited mental space used to hold and process information temporarily. Sensory memory is not the best choice because it briefly holds raw sensory input. Long-term memory is different because it stores information over extended periods. Procedural memory does not fit because it stores skills and habits. Question 35. During a mini-lecture, Hugo studies a case where a learner recalls a teaching theory studied weeks earlier. Which term fits best? Option A, working memory. Option B, selective attention. Option C, sensory memory. Option D, long-term memory. The correct answer is option D, long-term memory. This describes long-term memory because information retained over time is stored in long-term memory. Working memory is not the best choice because it is temporary and limited during active thinking. Selective attention is different because it filters what receives mental focus. Sensory memory does not fit because it lasts only briefly after stimulation. Question 36. In a peer study circle, Hugo asks why an exam candidate turns a new vocabulary term into a meaningful example to remember it. Which answer names the idea? Option A, extinction. Option B, encoding. Option C, validity. Option D, retrieval. The correct answer is option B, encoding. This describes encoding because encoding is the process of getting information into memory in a usable form. Extinction is not the best choice because it weakens a learned behavior. Validity is different because it concerns whether a test measures what it should. Retrieval does not fit because it involves pulling stored information back out. Question 37. After reading that a learner closes the book and answers questions from memory to strengthen recall, how should Hugo label the concept? Option A, massed practice. Option B, summative assessment. Option C, centration. Option D, retrieval practice. The correct answer is option D, retrieval practice. This describes retrieval practice because actively recalling information improves later memory more than simply rereading. Massed practice is not the best choice because it compresses study into one long session. Summative assessment is different because it evaluates learning at the end of instruction. Centration does not fit because it means focusing on one feature of a situation. Question 38. For a short exam review, Hugo connects a exam candidate studies the same concepts in short sessions across several days with which principle? Option A, spaced practice. Option B, norming. Option C, shaping. Option D, massed practice. The correct answer is option A, spaced practice. This describes spaced practice because learning is distributed over time, which usually supports stronger retention. Norming is not the best choice because it creates comparison data for a test. Shaping is different because it reinforces gradual behavior changes. Massed practice does not fit because it packs study into one concentrated period. Question 39. Could a case where a learner links a new theory to personal classroom experiences be an example of which concept for Hugo? Option A, rote rehearsal. Option B, elaboration. Option C, extinction. Option D, reliability. The correct answer is option B, elaboration. This describes elaboration because new information is made more meaningful by connecting it to existing knowledge. Rote rehearsal is not the best choice because it repeats information without adding meaning. Extinction is different because it removes reinforcement to reduce behavior. Reliability does not fit because it refers to consistency of measurement. Question 40. Why would Hugo link an exam candidate groups a long list of theorists into behaviorist, cognitive, and social categories to one major educational psychology idea? Option A, overlearning. Option B, response cost. Option C, accommodation. Option D, chunking. The correct answer is option D. Chunking. This describes chunking because information is organized into meaningful units to reduce memory load. Overlearning is not the best choice because it continues practice after initial mastery. Response cost is different because it removes a privilege to reduce behavior. Accommodation does not fit because it changes a schema to fit new information. Question 41. A practice item tells Hugo that an exam candidate checks which topics are weak and adjusts the study plan. Which concept is most likely? Option A, extrinsic motivation. Option B, metacognition. Option C, automaticity. Option D, classical conditioning. The correct answer is option B. Metacognition. This describes metacognition because the learner monitors and controls their own thinking and learning strategies. Extrinsic motivation is not the best choice because it depends on external rewards. Automaticity is different because it means a skill requires little conscious effort. Classical conditioning does not fit because it involves learned associations. Question 42. Before answering, Hugo identifies that knowledge from a statistics lesson helps an exam candidate understand test reliability. Which term should be chosen? Option A, negative punishment. Option B, transfer of learning. Option C, cognitive dissonance. Option D, extinction. The correct answer is option B. Transfer of learning. This describes transfer of learning because previous learning influences performance in a new but related situation. Negative punishment is not the best choice because it removes something desirable to reduce behavior. Cognitive dissonance is different because it involves discomfort from conflicting beliefs. Extinction does not fit because it reduces behavior when reinforcement stops. Question 43. Which choice helps Hugo explain why a course tutor gives a big picture concept map before a complex lesson begins in a classroom discussion? Option A, random assignment. Option B, advance organizer. Option C, exit ticket. Option D, token economy. The correct answer is option B. Advance organizer. This describes advance organizer because a preview structure helps learners connect new information to prior knowledge. Random assignment is not the best choice because it places participants into groups by chance. Exit ticket is different because it checks understanding at the end of a lesson. Token economy does not fit because it uses symbolic rewards. Question 44. How can Hugo classify a classroom moment where a learner uses an existing mental framework about classrooms to understand a new teaching method? Option A, percentile rank. Option B, rubric. Option C, schema. Option D, reinforcer. The correct answer is option C. Schema. This describes schema because a schema is an organized knowledge structure used to interpret information. Percentile rank is not the best choice because it shows relative standing in a group. Rubric is different because it is a scoring guide. Reinforcer does not fit because it is a consequence that increases behavior. Question 45. Suppose Hugo observes that too many visuals, terms, and steps overwhelm a learner during a first lesson. Which concept is shown? Option A, egocentrism. Option B, intrinsic motivation. Option C, reliability. Option D, cognitive load. The correct answer is option D. Cognitive load. This describes cognitive load because working memory can become overloaded when too much information must be processed at once. Egocentrism is not the best choice because it means difficulty taking another viewpoint. Intrinsic motivation is different because it concerns interest and enjoyment. Reliability does not fit because it concerns consistency of scores. Question 46. While reviewing, Hugo sees exam candidates build their own understanding through discussion, examples, and problem solving. Which idea matches the situation? Option A, standardization. Option B, behaviorism. Option C, maturation. Option D, constructivism. The correct answer is option D. Constructivism. This describes constructivism because learners actively construct meaning rather than simply receive information. Standardization is not the best choice because it keeps procedures uniform. Behaviorism is different because it emphasizes observable behavior and consequences. Maturation does not fit because it emphasizes biological growth. Question 47. One interesting clue says exam candidates investigate a question, gather evidence, and develop an explanation. Which educational psychology term fits for Hugo? Option A, fixed ratio reinforcement. Option B, inquiry-based learning. Option C, direct instruction. Option D, norm-referenced assessment. The correct answer is option B, inquiry-based learning. This describes inquiry-based learning because learning begins with questions and exploration rather than only direct telling. Fixed ratio reinforcement is not the best choice because it rewards after a set number of responses. Direct instruction is different because it uses clear teacher-led explanation and guided practice. Norm-referenced assessment does not fit because it compares students to one another. Question 48. From this example, where a course tutor models a skill, guides practice, checks understanding, and gives feedback, which answer should Hugo select? Option A, direct instruction. Option B, portfolio assessment. Option C, discovery learning. Option D, peer tutoring. The correct answer is option A, direct instruction. This describes direct instruction because the method uses explicit teaching steps and structured practice. Portfolio assessment is not the best choice because it collects work over time. Discovery learning is different because it expects students to uncover ideas with less direct guidance. Peer tutoring does not fit because it uses students helping students. Question 49. Students in a student coaching session discuss why exam candidates work in small groups with shared goals and individual accountability. Which concept gives the best explanation? Option A, cooperative learning. Option B, independent study. Option C, competitive learning. Option D, lecture method. The correct answer is option A, cooperative learning. This describes cooperative learning because learners collaborate while each member remains responsible for contributing. Independent study is not the best choice because it relies on solo learning. Competitive learning is different because it ranks students against one another. Lecture method does not fit because it centers on teacher presentation. Question 50. Teachers in a mini-lecture wonder why a course tutor adjusts tasks, materials, and support based on learner readiness. Which principle applies? Option A, random sampling. Option B, differentiated instruction. Option C, standardized instruction. Option D, summative assessment. The correct answer is option B, differentiated instruction. This describes differentiated instruction because instruction is adapted to different needs while keeping meaningful learning goals. Random sampling is not the best choice because it selects participants for research. Standardized instruction is different because it delivers the same approach to all students. Summative assessment does not fit because it evaluates after instruction. Question 51. Can Hugo treat a lesson offers text, audio, visuals, and different ways to show understanding from the start as evidence of which concept? Option A, tracking. Option B, accommodation only. Option C, mastery grading. Option D, universal design for learning. The correct answer is option D, universal design for learning. This describes universal design for learning because UDL plans flexible access and expression options before barriers appear. Tracking is not the best choice because it separates students into groups by perceived ability. Accommodation only is different because it changes access for an individual after a need is identified. Mastery grading does not fit because it focuses on reaching standards before moving ahead. Question 52. If Hugo must answer quickly, which idea is signaled when a course tutor uses a quick exit question to adjust tomorrow's lesson? Option A, summative assessment. Option B, placement test. Option C, norm-referenced assessment. Option D, formative assessment. The correct answer is option D. Formative assessment. This describes formative assessment because the assessment is used during learning to guide instruction and feedback. Summative assessment is not the best choice because it judges learning after instruction is complete. Placement test is different because it sorts students before instruction begins. Norm-referenced assessment does not fit because it compares performance to other learners. Question 53. Rather than guessing, Hugo should connect a final exam measures what exam candidates learned after the unit ends with which concept? Option A, diagnostic assessment. Option B, summative assessment. Option C, anecdotal record. Option D, formative assessment. The correct answer is option B. Summative assessment. This describes summative assessment because the assessment evaluates achievement at the end of a learning period. Diagnostic assessment is not the best choice because it identifies starting strengths and needs. Anecdotal record is different because it is a brief observational note. Formative assessment does not fit because it guides instruction during learning. Question 54. Curiosity rises when Hugo reads that an exam candidate's score is judged against a fixed standard of mastery. Which term solves the puzzle? Option A, ipsative assessment. Option B, informal observation. Option C, criterion referenced assessment. Option D, norm referenced assessment. The correct answer is option C. Criterion referenced assessment. This describes criterion referenced assessment because performance is compared with defined criteria rather than other students. Ipsative assessment is not the best choice because it compares a student to their own past performance. Informal observation is different because it is not necessarily tied to a fixed standard. Norm-referenced assessment does not fit because it compares students to a reference group. Question 55. A CLEP-style scenario says a score report shows how an exam candidate performed compared with a national sample. Which answer best captures it for Hugo? Option A, formative assessment. Option B, authentic assessment. Option C, norm-referenced assessment. Option D, criterion-referenced assessment. The correct answer is option C. Norm-referenced assessment. This describes norm-referenced assessment because the score is interpreted relative to other test takers. Formative assessment is not the best choice because it is used during learning for improvement. Authentic assessment is different because it uses real-world tasks. Criterion-referenced assessment does not fit because it compares performance to a standard. Question 56. Inside a practice test workshop, Hugo studies why a test gives similar results when the same skill is measured repeatedly. Which concept fits? Option A, bias. Option B, percentile rank. Option C, validity. Option D, reliability. The correct answer is option D. Reliability. This describes reliability because reliability means scores are consistent across time, items, or raters. Bias is not the best choice because it concerns unfair advantage or disadvantage. Percentile rank is different because it reports relative standing. Validity does not fit because it asks whether the test measures the intended construct. Question 57. Looking at the clue that a math test actually measures math reasoning instead of reading speed, which idea should Hugo remember? Option A, standard error. Option B, validity. Option C, reliability. Option D, inter-rater agreement. The correct answer is option B. Validity. This describes validity because validity concerns whether an assessment measures what it claims to measure. Standard error is not the best choice because it estimates score uncertainty. Reliability is different because it concerns consistency, not meaning. Inter-rater agreement does not fit because it is one form of consistency between scorers. Question 58. Hugo sees that all examines receive the same directions, timing, and scoring rules during a classroom discussion. Which concept best explains it? Option A, informal assessment. Option B, portfolio assessment. Option C, standardized test. Option D, authentic assessment. The correct answer is option C, standardized test. This describes standardized test because standardization keeps testing conditions uniform so scores can be interpreted fairly. Informal assessment is not the best choice because it may be flexible and teacher-made. Portfolio assessment is different because it collects multiple pieces of work over time. Authentic assessment does not fit because it asks students to perform realistic tasks. Question 59. When Hugo notices that exam candidates design a real classroom plan instead of only selecting answers on a test in a quick quiz review, which idea is being tested? Option A, forced choice test. Option B, authentic assessment. Option C, norm referenced assessment. Option D, standardized assessment. The correct answer is option B, authentic assessment. This describes authentic assessment because students demonstrate learning through realistic tasks and products. Forced choice test is not the best choice because it limits responses to provided options. Norm referenced assessment is different because it compares performance to a group. Standardized assessment does not fit because it uses uniform procedures and scoring. Question 60. During a teacher training scenario, Hugo studies a case where exam candidates receive a scoring guide describing levels for evidence, clarity, and accuracy. Which term fits best? Option A, norm table. Option B, checklist. Option C, rubric. Option D, syllabus. The correct answer is option C, rubric. This describes rubric because a rubric lists criteria and performance levels for judging work. Norm table is not the best choice because it helps interpret scores against a sample. Checklist is different because it often marks whether elements are present without quality levels. Syllabus does not fit because it outlines course policies and topics. Question 61. In a final review session, Hugo asks why a course tutor moves exam candidates from remembering facts to evaluating arguments and creating projects. Which answer names the idea? Option A, Kohlberg stages. Option B, Erikson stages. Option C, Bloom taxonomy. Option D, Maslow hierarchy. The correct answer is option C, Bloom taxonomy. This describes Bloom taxonomy because the taxonomy organizes cognitive tasks from lower to higher levels of thinking. Kohlberg stages is not the best choice because it describes moral reasoning. Erikson stages is different because it describes psychosocial development. Maslow hierarchy does not fit because it organizes human needs. Question 62. After reading that an exam candidate with a qualifying disability has a legal plan with goals and services, how should Hugo label the concept? Option A, individualized education program. Option B, rubric. Option C, norming report. Option D, lesson plan. The correct answer is option A, individualized education program. This describes individualized education program because an IEP documents specialized instruction, supports, goals, and services for eligible students. Rubric is not the best choice because it scores performance. Norming report is different because it summarizes comparison data. Lesson plan does not fit because it guides a teacher's daily instruction but is not a special education legal document. Question 63. For a short exam review, Hugo connects an exam candidate with a disability learns with non-disabled peers as much as appropriate with which principle? Option A, retention. Option B, standardization. Option C, tracking. Option D, least restrictive environment. The correct answer is option D, least restrictive environment. This describes least restrictive environment because students should be educated in settings that provide access while avoiding unnecessary separation. Retention is not the best choice because it keeps a student in the same grade. Standardization is different because it keeps testing procedures uniform. Tracking does not fit because it groups students by perceived ability. Question 64. Could a case where a learner gets extended time while the learning target stays the same be an example of which concept for Hugo? Option A, accommodation. Option B, acceleration. Option C, punishment. Option D, modification. The correct answer is option A. Accommodation. This describes accommodation because access is adjusted without changing the essential learning expectation. Acceleration is not the best choice because it moves a learner ahead faster. Punishment is different because it reduces unwanted behavior through consequences. Modification does not fit because it changes the learning expectation or task level. Question 65. Why would Hugo link a learner completes a simplified assignment with different learning expectations to one major educational psychology idea? Option A, scaffolding. Option B, modification. Option C, accommodation. Option D, universal screening. The correct answer is option B. Modification. This describes modification because the task or standard is changed to fit the learner's instructional level. Scaffolding is not the best choice because it gives temporary support toward the same goal. Accommodation is different because it changes access while keeping the same standard. Universal screening does not fit because it checks all learners for risk. Question 66. A practice item tells Hugo that a strong thinker struggles with accurate word decoding and benefits from structured phonics. Which concept is most likely? Option A, dyscalculia support. Option B, percentile rank. Option C, dyslexia support. Option D, behavior contract. The correct answer is option C. Dyslexia support. This describes dyslexia support because dyslexia commonly affects word reading and decoding, so explicit structured literacy support can help. Dyscalculia support is not the best choice because it focuses on math-related difficulties. Percentile rank is different because it reports relative test standing. Behavior contract does not fit because it targets behavior goals. Question 67. Before answering, Hugo identifies that a learner focuses better with short tasks, movement breaks, and clear routines. Which term should be chosen? Option A, ADHD classroom support. Option B, classical conditioning. Option C, gifted compacting. Option D, criterion testing. The correct answer is option A. ADHD classroom support. This describes ADHD classroom support because structured routines and attention supports can reduce distractions and support self-management. Classical conditioning is not the best choice because it links stimuli with responses. Gifted compacting is different because it removes already mastered work for advanced learners. Criterion testing does not fit because it compares performance to standards. Question 68. Which choice helps Hugo explain why an advanced learner skips mastered work and uses time for deeper enrichment in a quiet study group? Option A, extinction. Option B, remediation. Option C, retention. Option D, curriculum compacting. The correct answer is option D. Curriculum compacting. This describes curriculum compacting because already mastered content is reduced so the learner can pursue more challenging work. Extinction is not the best choice because it removes reinforcement to reduce a behavior. Remediation is different because it retakes skills that are not yet mastered. Retention does not fit because it repeats a grade or course. Question 69. How can Hugo classify a classroom moment where examples, discussion norms, and materials connect learning to exam candidates' cultural backgrounds? Option A, colorblind teaching. Option B, ability tracking. Option C, standardized testing. Option D, culturally responsive teaching. The correct answer is option D. Culturally responsive teaching. This describes culturally responsive teaching because instruction uses students' cultural knowledge and experiences as assets for learning. Colorblind teaching is not the best choice because it ignores cultural differences rather than using them constructively. Ability tracking is different because it separates students by perceived ability. Standardized testing does not fit because it keeps procedures uniform. Question 70. Suppose Hugo observes that an assessment unfairly disadvantages a group because examples depend on unfamiliar cultural knowledge. Which concept is shown? Option A, reliability. Option B, test bias. Option C, standard deviation. Option D, validity evidence. The correct answer is option B. Test bias. This describes test bias because bias occurs when irrelevant factors give some groups an unfair advantage or disadvantage. Reliability is not the best choice because it concerns score consistency. Standard deviation is different because it describes score spread. Validity evidence does not fit because it supports appropriate score interpretation. Question 71. While reviewing, Hugo sees exam candidates transition quickly because procedures for materials and movement are practiced daily. Which idea matches the situation? Option A, classroom routines. Option B, summative testing. Option C, random reinforcement. Option D, accommodation. The correct answer is option A. Classroom routines. This describes classroom routines because clear repeated procedures reduce confusion and support orderly learning time. Summative testing is not the best choice because it evaluates final achievement. Random reinforcement is different because it gives rewards unpredictably. Accommodation does not fit because it adjusts access for a learner. Question 72. One interesting clue says exam candidates earn points for target behaviors and trade them for privileges. Which educational psychology term fits for Hugo? Option A, logical consequence. Option B, mastery learning. Option C, token economy. Option D, classical conditioning. The correct answer is option C. Token economy. This describes token economy because tokens serve as conditioned reinforcers that can be exchanged for backup rewards. Logical consequence is not the best choice because it is connected naturally to misbehavior. Mastery learning is different because it requires meeting standards before moving forward. Classical conditioning does not fit because it links two stimuli rather than using exchangeable rewards. Question 73. From this example, where an exam candidate who misuses lab materials must repair the setup and review safety steps, which answer should Hugo select? Option A, extinction. Option B, unrelated punishment. Option C, negative reinforcement. Option D, logical consequence. The correct answer is option D. Logical consequence. This describes logical consequence because the consequence is related to the behavior and helps restore responsible action. Extinction is not the best choice because it withholds reinforcement to reduce behavior. Unrelated punishment is different because it does not connect meaningfully to the behavior. Negative reinforcement does not fit because it increases behavior by removing an unpleasant condition. Question 74. Students in a quick quiz review discuss why a course tutor spots small off-task behavior early while continuing the lesson smoothly. Which concept gives the best explanation? Option A, self-efficacy. Option B, wait time. Option C, scaffolding. Option D, withedness. The correct answer is option D. Withedness. This describes withedness because withedness means awareness of classroom events and quick response before problems grow. Self-efficacy is not the best choice because it is belief in capability. Wait time is different because it is a pause after asking a question. Scaffolding does not fit because it gives temporary learning support. Question 75. Teachers in a teacher training scenario wonder why a course tutor pauses several seconds after asking a question before calling on anyone. Which principle applies? Option A, response cost. Option B, wait time. Option C, withedness. Option D, distributed practice. The correct answer is option B. Wait time. This describes wait time because wait time gives students more processing time and often improves response quality. Response cost is not the best choice because it removes a privilege after behavior. Witness is different because it is awareness of classroom behavior. Distributed practice does not fit because it spreads study sessions over time. Question 76. Can Hugo treat a prompt asks exam candidates to explain several possible reasons instead of choosing one fact as evidence of which concept? Option A, fixed ratio schedule. Option B, closed question. Option C, recall cue. Option D, open-ended questioning. The correct answer is option D. Open-ended questioning. This describes open-ended questioning because open-ended questions invite elaboration, reasoning, and multiple defensible responses. Fixed ratio schedule is not the best choice because it reinforces after a set number of responses. Closed question is different because it usually has one brief answer. Recall cue does not fit because it simply prompts memory of stored information. Question 77. If Hugo must answer quickly, which idea is signaled when a course tutor tells a learner exactly what worked and what to revise next? Option A, summative grade only. Option B, random correction. Option C, general praise. Option D, effective feedback. The correct answer is option D. Effective feedback. This describes effective feedback because specific, timely feedback helps learners close the gap between current and desired performance. Summative grade only is not the best choice because it reports performance without next steps. Random correction is different because it lacks targeted connection to the learning goal. General praise does not fit because it may feel positive but gives little guidance. Question 78. Rather than guessing, Hugo should connect a exam candidate sets a goal, monitors progress, changes strategies, and reflects after studying with which concept? Option A, social facilitation. Option B, operant conditioning. Option C, object permanence. Option D, self-regulated learning. The correct answer is option D. Self-regulated learning. This describes self-regulated learning because learners actively plan, monitor, control, and evaluate their learning. Social facilitation is not the best choice because it concerns performance changes in the presence of others. Operant conditioning is different because it emphasizes consequences shaping behavior. Object permanence does not fit because it concerns infant understanding of hidden objects. Question 79. Curiosity rises when Hugo reads that exam candidates take turns summarizing, questioning, clarifying, and predicting during reading. Which term solves the puzzle? Option A, random assignment. Option B, direct instruction. Option C, token economy. Option D, reciprocal teaching. The correct answer is option D. Reciprocal teaching. This describes reciprocal teaching because the strategy uses structured dialogue to improve comprehension. Random assignment is not the best choice because it assigns participants to groups by chance. Direct instruction is different because it is mainly teacher-led explanation and practice. Token economy does not fit because it uses symbolic rewards. Question 80. A CLEP-style scenario says one exam candidate guides another through practice while both receive learning benefits. Which answer best captures it for Hugo? Option A, tracking. Option B, lecture. Option C, portfolio assessment. Option D, peer tutoring. The correct answer is option D. Peer tutoring. This describes peer tutoring because students support each other's learning through structured helper-learner roles. Tracking is not the best choice because it separates students into ability groups. Lecture is different because it is teacher presentation to a group. Portfolio assessment does not fit because it collects work samples over time. Question 81. Inside a peer study circle, Hugo studies why a child identifies that cat and cup begin with the same spoken sound. Which concept fits? Option A, syntax. Option B, phonemic awareness. Option C, morphology. Option D. Phonics. The correct answer is option B. Phonemic awareness. This describes phonemic awareness because the learner is attending to individual sounds in spoken language. Syntax is not the best choice because it concerns sentence structure. Morphology is different because it studies meaningful word parts. Phonics does not fit because it links sounds to printed letters. Question 82. Looking at the clue that a learner improves a skill after watching a confident model demonstrate each step, which idea should Hugo remember? Option A. Skinner shaping. Option B. Piaget conservation. Option C. Maslow needs. Option D. Bandura modeling. The correct answer is option D. Bandura modeling. This describes Bandura modeling because Bandura emphasized learning by observing models and the outcomes of their actions. Skinner shaping is not the best choice because it reinforces gradual behavior changes through consequences. Piaget conservation is different because it concerns logical understanding of quantity. Maslow needs does not fit because it explains motivation through layered needs. Question 83. Hugo sees that family, school, peers, community, and culture all shape a child's development during a quiet study group. Which concept best explains it? Option A. Erikson's psychosocial stages. Option B. Brenner ecological systems. Option C. Kohlberg moral stages. Option D. Information processing. The correct answer is option B. Brenner ecological systems. This describes Brenner ecological systems because development is influenced by nested environmental systems around a child. Erikson's psychosocial stages is not the best choice because it focuses on lifespan social-emotional conflicts. Kohlberg moral stages is different because it focuses on moral reasoning. Information processing does not fit because it compares thinking to mental processing systems. Question 84. When Hugo notices that a young child uses a caregiver as a safe base and seeks comfort after stress in an online prep session, which idea is being tested? Option A. Avoidant attachment. Option B. Industry versus inferiority. Option C. Secure attachment. Option D. Authoritarian parenting. The correct answer is option C. Secure attachment. This describes secure attachment because secure attachment involves trust in caregiver availability and comfort. Avoidant attachment is not the best choice because it shows reduced seeking of comfort. Industry versus inferiority is different because it is a school-age psychosocial conflict. Authoritarian parenting does not fit because it describes strict parenting style. Question 85. During a morning lesson, Hugo studies a case where two infants differ early in activity level, mood, and adaptability. Which term fits best? Option A. Self-concept. Option B. Criterion validity. Option C. Moral reasoning. Option D. Temperament. The correct answer is option D. Temperament. This describes temperament because temperament refers to biologically influenced patterns of emotional and behavioral response. Self-concept is not the best choice because it is a person's view of self. Criterion validity is different because it links test scores to an outcome. Moral reasoning does not fit because it concerns judgments about right and wrong. Question 86. In a practice test workshop, Hugo asks why a child says "good" because a regular grammar rule is applied too broadly. Which answer names the idea? Option A. Telegraphic speech. Option B. Code switching. Option C. Babbling. Option D. Language overgeneralization. The correct answer is option D. Language overgeneralization. This describes language overgeneralization because the child applies a learned language rule to an irregular case. Telegraphic speech is not the best choice because it uses short two-word phrases. Code switching is different because it shifts language varieties based on context. Babbling does not fit because it is early sound play. Question 87. After reading that exam candidates explain whether a character should break a rule to help someone in need, How should Hugo label the concept? Option A, moral dilemma assessment. Option B, behavior checklist. Option C, aptitude test. Option D, achievement test. The correct answer is option A, moral dilemma assessment. This describes moral dilemma assessment because moral dilemmas reveal the reasoning behind judgments, not just the choice itself. Behavior checklist is not the best choice because it records observed behaviors. Aptitude test is different because it predicts future learning potential. Achievement test does not fit because it measures learned academic content. Question 88. For a short exam review, Hugo connects a study finds that homework time and test scores rise together without proving cause with which principle? Option A, correlational research. Option B, experimental research. Option C, case study. Option D, ethnography. The correct answer is option A, correlational research. This describes correlational research because correlation shows a relationship between variables but does not establish causation. Experimental research is not the best choice because it manipulates variables to test cause and effect. Case study is different because it examines one person or small group deeply. Ethnography does not fit because it studies culture through immersion. Question 89. Could a case where participants are placed into tutoring or no tutoring groups by chance be an example of which concept for Hugo? Option A, convenience sampling. Option B, random assignment. Option C, random sampling. Option D, matching. The correct answer is option B, random assignment. This describes random assignment because chance placement helps make groups similar before the treatment begins. Convenience sampling is not the best choice because it uses whoever is easily available. Random sampling is different because it selects participants from a population. Matching does not fit because it pairs participants on key traits. Question 90. Why would Hugo link a researcher changes the type of feedback exam candidates receive to one major educational psychology idea? Option A, independent variable. Option B, control variable. Option C, confounding variable. Option D, dependent variable. The correct answer is option A, independent variable. This describes independent variable because the independent variable is the factor the researcher manipulates. Control variable is not the best choice because it is held constant. Confounding variable is different because it is an unwanted factor that may affect results. Dependent variable does not fit because it is the measured outcome. Question 91. A practice item tells Hugo that a researcher measures quiz scores after using two different teaching methods. Which concept is most likely? Option A, independent variable. Option B, dependent variable. Option C, random assignment. Option D, extraneous variable. The correct answer is option B, dependent variable. This describes dependent variable because the dependent variable is the outcome measured to see whether the treatment had an effect. Independent variable is not the best choice because it is the factor manipulated. Random assignment is different because it is a grouping procedure. Extraneous variable does not fit because it is an outside influence. Question 92. Before answering, Hugo identifies that one group receives regular instruction while another receives a new memory strategy. Which term should be chosen? Option A, control group. Option B, experimental group. Option C, population. Option D, sample. The correct answer is option A, control group. This describes control group because the control group provides a comparison for judging the effect of the treatment. Experimental group is not the best choice because it receives the treatment being tested. Population is different because it is the larger group of interest. Sample does not fit because it is the set of participants studied. Question 93. Which choice helps Hugo explain why a course tutor adds all quiz scores and divides by the number of exam candidates in an after-school class? Option A, range. Option B, mean. Option C, mode. Option D, median. The correct answer is option B, mean. This describes mean because the mean is the arithmetic average of a set of scores. Range is not the best choice because it is the difference between highest and lowest scores. Mode is different because it is the most frequent score. Median does not fit because it is the middle score. Question 94. How can Hugo classify a classroom moment where a course tutor wants to know how spread out the class scores are around the average? Option A, percentile rank. Option B, mean. Option C, raw score. Option D, standard deviation. The correct answer is option D, standard deviation. This describes standard deviation because standard deviation describes typical distance of scores from the mean. Percentile rank is not the best choice because it shows relative standing. Mean is different because it gives the average but not spread. Raw score does not fit because it is the number of points earned. Question 95. Suppose Hugo observes that an exam candidate's report says the score is higher than the scores of 80% of the norm group. Which concept is shown? Option A, grade equivalent. Option B, standard deviation. Option C, percentage correct. Option D, percentile rank. The correct answer is option D, percentile rank. This describes percentile rank because percentile rank tells the percentage of comparison scores at or below a student's score. Grade equivalent is not the best choice because it estimates grade level performance, often imperfectly. Standard deviation is different because it describes score spread. Percentage correct does not fit because it reports items answered correctly. Question 96. While reviewing, Hugo sees exam candidates improve partly because they know they are being studied. Which idea matches the situation? Option A, Hawthorne effect. Option B, placebo effect. Option C, testing effect. Option D, observer bias. The correct answer is option A, Hawthorne effect. This describes Hawthorne effect because participants may change behavior simply because they are receiving attention in a study. Placebo effect is not the best choice because it involves improvement from belief in a treatment. Testing effect is different because it improves learning through retrieval practice. Observer bias does not fit because it occurs when researcher expectations shape recording. Question 97. One interesting clue says exam candidates improve over a semester because they naturally grew older, not because of the program. Which educational psychology term fits for Hugo? Option A, maturation threat. Option B, regression to the mean. Option C, instrumentation threat. Option D, selection bias. The correct answer is option A, maturation threat. This describes maturation threat because changes due to natural development can threaten conclusions about a treatment's effect. Regression to the mean is not the best choice because it occurs when extreme scores move closer to average later. Instrumentation threat is different because it occurs when measurement changes over time. Selection bias does not fit because it occurs when groups differ before a treatment. Question 98. From this example, where a researcher records detailed notes about classroom interactions instead of only counting scores, which answer should Hugo select? Option A, qualitative observation. Option B, meta-analysis. Option C, random assignment. Option D, standardized testing. The correct answer is option A, qualitative observation. This describes qualitative observation because qualitative methods focus on rich descriptions and meanings in context. Meta-analysis is not the best choice because it statistically combines many studies. Random assignment is different because it places participants into groups by chance. Standardized testing does not fit because it uses uniform measurement procedures. Question 99. Students in an online prep session discuss why a course tutor studies the effect of a new discussion routine in the course tutor's own classroom. Which concept gives the best explanation? Option A, laboratory experiment. Option B, survey research. Option C, action research. Option D. Longitudinal research. The correct answer is option C. Action research. This describes action research because practitioners investigate their own settings to improve local practice. Laboratory experiment is not the best choice because it tests variables in a controlled setting. Survey research is different because it gathers responses from questionnaires. Longitudinal research does not fit because it follows participants over time. Question 100. Teachers in a morning lesson wonder why families are told the study purpose, risks, and rights before agreeing to participate. Which principle applies? Option A. Informed consent. Option B. Random assignment. Option C. Confidentiality. Option D. Debriefing. The correct answer is option A. Informed consent. This describes informed consent because participants or guardians must understand key information and voluntarily agree. Random assignment is not the best choice because it assigns participants to groups by chance. Confidentiality is different because it protects private data. Debriefing does not fit because it explains details after participation.